Elf Me plot summary. Elf Me is a fun Christmas-themed movie about a young boy named Elia who befriends Trip, one of Santa Claus' elves from the North Pole. Elia is often bullied because of his small height, and he also keeps his dyslexia condition a secret so as to avoid more bullying. He lives with his mother, who runs a classical toy business. The toy business does not face much luck owing to competition from mass-market products. Elia eagerly awaits to meet his father, and his mother tells him that his dad will be home for Christmas. Trip is a crafter elf in Santa Claus' employ. He likes to make toys, but his creations bring more mess and problems than enjoyment. After facing another rejection before Christmas, Trip attempts to send one of his rejections as a gift, but somehow he ends up being the present. He ends up at Elia's house and over the following days, befriends Elia, helps him fight his bullies, and also helps Elia's mother revive her toy business. Does Chaka sabotage Ivana's business? Just around Christmas Eve, Ivana's business begins to boom with Trip helping her make customized and enchanted toys. This demand for Ivana's toys leads to Chaka's toy orders getting canceled at the last minute. Meanwhile, at Elia's house, Trip gives him binoculars which allows one to see their loved ones, no matter how far they are. Elia uses those binoculars to inquire about his father. He is heartbroken to see that his parents are separated. His father has a new partner and his mom has kept this a secret to not hurt him. Elia is hurt and angry, and also refutes Trip's attempts to calm him and asks the latter to leave. Trip does so and sits on a bench outside. Just then, Chaka and Victor knock Trip unconscious and kidnaps him. Chaka blackmails Trip into making his buddy-buddy toys magical as well. Trip requests Chaka to let him go back to North Pole before midnight, but Chaka pays no heed. As midnight approaches, Trip begins to go weak. He did bring the buddy-buddy toys alive, but he lost quite a bit of energy. It is a rule that elves cannot live outside of the North Pole. Trip must return to the North Pole before Christmas, otherwise he could die, but Chaka pays no heed. Do Giada and Elia become friends? While Trip was at Chaka's warehouse, Elia and his friends team up to get him back. Giada, who used to earlier hang out with Victor and the twins, chooses to be friends with Elia. Elia suffers from dyslexia, and so does Giada. That gives that both a common point of relatability. As the movie comes to a conclusion, we see that Giada and Elia do become friends. She asks him to go riding the bicycle together. Elia, Giada, and Elia's friends roam around the lanes on their bikes. Does Trip go back to the North Pole? On Christmas Eve, we see that Elia and his friends arrive at Chaka's warehouse, but Chaka does not give up without a fight. He summons all the buddy-buddy toys and commands them in such a way that they all cling to him like an armor. But Ivana has the flubber with her and throws at Chaka. The toys burst, and so does the flubber, leaving a neon green goopy liquid everywhere and on everyone. Just seconds before the clock strikes 12, Elia sends the return gift letter to the North Pole. Santa Claus, Mrs. Claus, and a few elves come down to take Trip back to the North Pole. Elia, his friends, and Ivana are surprised to see that Santa Claus truly exists. The elves magically erase memories of Chaka and others to prevent the word from getting out. Does Elia meet his father? Since the beginning of the movie, Elia's father is only mentioned but never seen in the movie. Ivana simply says that he is away at work, but he has promised to meet Elia for Christmas. After Elia finds out the truth that his parents have separated, Elia is crestfallen. After Trip leave, Elia and rest of the gang return home. There, Elia sees his father waiting. Elia's one wish for Christmas was to see his father, and it came true. Elf Me is a delightful movie about Christmas and all the good that it symbolizes. It is a good watch for kids and adults alike, for age is no bar when asking gifts from the Santa Claus.